Run Jasper Ridley telephone interview, August 1997. I fully agree the New Statesman is an important target and must be dealt with systematically. Michael Goodwin told Nicholas Nabokov, 15th of January 1952, CCF, CI. Goodwin's efforts were not enough to satisfy his secret sponsors. Washington's interest in destroying the influence of the New Statesman was later taken up by the American Committee for Cultural Freedom, which despised the journal's spirit of conciliation and moral lassitude vis-a-vis communism, and proposed the publication of an inventory of the New Statesman and Nation, exposing its line of compromise with totalitarianism for worldwide distribution to English-reading intellectuals. American Committee for Cultural Freedom, Memorandum 6th of January 1955, ACCF NYU. Sec of Malcolm Muggeridge, Like It Was, London, Collins, 1981. Third Tosco Fievel to Irving Brown, 4 August 1951, IBGMC. 4 C.D. Jackson to William Griffin, 11th of May 1953, CDJ-DDE. 5th Kim Philby, My Silent War, New York, Grove Press, 1968. 6 E-Bid. 7 Christopher Montague Woodhouse, Something Ventured, London, Grenada, 1982. 8 Bid. Kim Roosevelt left the CIA in 1958 and went on to become a partner in a Washington PR firm representing, among other international clients, the government of Iran. 10 Stephen Spender, My Parents, in Collected Poems, 1928 to 1985, London, Faber and Faber, 1985. 11 Stephen Spender, Journals, 1939 to 1983, London, Faber and Faber, 1985. 12 Anita Kermode interview, Devon, July 1997. Stephen Spender, We Can Win the Battle for the Mind of Europe, New York Times Magazine, 25th April 1948, 14th Ibid. 15th Raymond Aron, Does Europe Welcome American Leadership? Saturday Review, 13th of January 1951. 16th Stuart Hampshire interview, Oxford, December 1997. 17th Natasha Spender, telephone interview, August 1997. 18th Irving Kristol to Frederick Warburg, 26th of February 1953, ACCF NYU. 19 Michael Josselson to Stephen Spender, 27th of May 1953, CCF Chai. 20 Christopher Montague Woodhouse, telephone interview, July 1997. 21st Lawrence Deneau-Phil, telephone interview, April 1997. 22nd Malcolm Muggeridge, An Anatomy of Neutralism, time, 2nd of November 1953. 23rd Malcolm Muggeridge, Chronicles of Wasted Time, The Infernal Grove, London, Collins, 1973. 24 Jasper Ridley, Letter to the Author, 31st of October 1997. 25th Michael Josselson to Stephen Spender, 5th of March 1953, MJHRC. 26th Stephen Spender to Irving Kristol, undated, ACCF NYU. 27th of Irving Kristol to Stephen Spender, 26th of March 1953, ACCF NYU. 28th Christopher Montague Woodhouse, telephone interview, July 1997. 29 Irving Kristol interview, Washington, June 1994. 30 Stephen Spender interview, London, July 1994. 31 Philip Larkin, in Selected Letters of Philip Larkin, 1940 to 1985. London, Faber and Faber, 1992. 30 Setta John Thompson, telephone interview, August 1996. 33rd Natasha Spender, interview, Mauson, July 1997. 34 Irving Kristol to Michael Josselson, 15th of September 1953, CCF, Chai. 35 Irving Kristol to Michael Josselson, 16th of September 1953, CCF, Chai. 36 Judge Irving Kaufman, quoted in New York Times, 5th of April 1951. 37 of John Paul Sartre, quoted in Stephen J. Whitfield, The Culture of the Cold War, Baltimore, Johns Hopkins University Press, 1991. 38 Ben Bradley, A Good Life, Newspapering and Other Adventures, London, Simon & Schuster, 1995. 39 Melvin Lasky, interview, London, August 1997. 40 Douglas Dillon to State Department, 5th of May 1953, CJD-DDE. 41 Bowen Evans, Office of Intelligence Research, to Jesse McKnight, Psychological Strategy Board, 14th of January 1953, PSB-DDE. 42nd Douglas Dillon to State Department, 15th of May 1953, CJDE. 43rd Charles Takey to C.E. Johnson, Psychological Strategy Board, 29th of March 1953, CJE. 44 C.D. Jackson to Herbert Brownell, 23rd of February 1953, CJDDE. 45th C.D. Jackson, Memo for the File, 27th May 1953, CJD-DDE. 46 Handwritten Notes of the Cabinet Meeting, 19th of June 1953, DDE. 47th IBID. 48 IBID. Diana Josselson interview, Geneva, March 1997. 50. American Committee for Cultural Freedom to President Eisenhower, 13th June 1953, CCF-CHI. 51. Diana Josselson interview, Geneva, March 1997. 52. Quoted in Hugh Wilford, The New York Intellectuals. 53. Leslie Fiedler, A Postscript to the Rosenberg Case, Encounter, October 1953. 54. Alger Hiss was a promising diplomat who, in 1949, fell under suspicion of being a Soviet spy in the State Department. Indicted by a federal grand jury for perjury, his case filled the newspapers and consumed America's body politic. He was finally convicted of perjury, though not of espionage, and sentenced to prison in January 1950 for 5 years. 55. Leslie Fiedler, A Postscript to the Rosenberg Case, Encounter, October 1953. 56. James T. Farrell to Meyer Shapiro, 4th of September 1940, MS Coel. 57. Sidney Hook, quoted in Irving Kristol to Michael Josselson, 4th of August 1953, CCF Chi. 58. E. M. Forster, quoted in Stephen Spender to Michael Josselson, 22nd of October 1953, MS Col. 59. Stephen Spender to Michael Josselson, IBID, 60th of IBID. 61. Natasha Spender, telephone interview, May 1997. 62. Christopher Montague Woodhouse, telephone interview, December 1997. Woodhouse was unable to recall where this scene had taken place. Woodhouse occasionally bumped into Spender at social gatherings. He was also a contributor to Encounter, though he was scrupulous in protecting his affiliations to MI6, both from its editors and, naturally, its readers. 63. Stephen Spender to Michael Josselson, 22nd of October 1953, CCF, Chi. 64. Anthony Hartley, The Spectator, 9th of October 1953. If Hartley had misgivings at this time, he must have persuaded himself that he was in error. In 1962, when he became foreign editor of The Spectator, half his salary was paid by Encounter, of which he eventually became co-editor, alongside Melvin Lasky. There was something of a pattern to this kind of conversion. Josselson tracked critics, whether of Encounter or the Congress generally, and devoted his energy to bringing them onside. In 1955, only months after he had reported in the New Statesman that Encounter was viewed with suspicion because it was so obviously subsidized and people wanted to know by whom and who laid down its line. David Deitches featured as a contributor to Encounter, a small but significant gain in what Neil Barry describes as Encounter's campaign to sap the New Statesman's ideological hegemony. Neil Barry, Encounter, London Magazine, February-March 1995. 65th, Graham Ho, text of a broadcast for the third program, BBC Radio, May 1954, CCF Chi. 66, A.J.P. Taylor, listener, 8th of October 1953. 67, Mary McCarthy to Hannah Arendt, in Carol Brightman, Between Friends, The Correspondence of Hannah Arendt and Mary McCarthy, 1949 to 1975. London, Seeker and Warburg, 1995. 68, Richard Wollheim, telephone interview, December 1997. 69, Stephen Spender to Irving Kristol, 24th of April 1954, CCF. 70, Michael Josselson to Irving Kristol, 4th of October 1954, CCF C-Chi. 74, Stephen Spender to Michael Josselson, 10th of July 1955, C-Chi.